47 years old. Now, according to an article by Headline USA, Richard Densmore is a
Wait, what did that say? Judge releases violent satanic pedophile cultist on bond. What is a satanic pedophile cultist? Which I like putting a kid in a circle and lighting candles? Like what? Yo. What's up guys, Anto here, and today we have another video called This Discord Predator is Disgusting. Now, I don't know what I came across. I found this video and this weird dude was on the thumbnail. I don't know what it's about, but apparently it just, I know it's gonna be terrible because I saw some of the comments. I don't know how bad it gets, but I'm hoping it's insanely bad. Not because I want it to be bad, but for the content, all right? But today we're gonna check that out and let's just brace ourselves because I don't know what's about to happen. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Today is a good day for Discord because this piece of absolute garbage is now sitting in jail for preying on kids on Discord. But this is not just your typical case of a Discord predator, because according to the news, he's also labeled as a terrorist as well. Now, taking a look at this fella, my first thoughts were, yeah, it makes sense, he is a creep.
A Discord terrorist predator. You just look chopped. And you need to clean your nose out. Heck is wrong with you? Hair's thinning. You just look like you're not in your best self.
This is Richard Anthony Reyna Densmore of Cleva, Michigan, who is 47 years old. Now, according to an article by Headline USA, Richard Densmore is a
Wait, what did that say? Judge releases violent satanic pedophile cultist on bond. What is a satanic pedophile cultist? Which I like putting a kid in a circle and lighting candles? Like what? Yo. How do you stockpile more names and words on top of you than you already have? Hey, you, like, comment, subscribe, follow the IG, join the Discord. Do it now, please. Love you.
An article by Headline USA, Richard Densmore is a U.S. military veteran with a history of mental illness. And
then he's a veteran, and he's got mental, of course he has a mental illness.
Illness probably came from being in the military. Gotta love the U.S. military. But Richard Densmore was formally diagnosed with schizophrenia and borderline personality disorder during his time in the military. And according to an article by the Detroit News, according to Christopher Gibbons,
wait, what?
During his time in the military. And according to an article by the Detroit News, according to Christopher Gibbons, who is Richard's attorney, Mr. Gibbons said that Densmore has struggled with mental illness, anxiety, and depression his whole entire life, and he mentioned—
Yeah, I am too, but you don't see me doing this. It's like an excuse, or like he actually does it because of it. Because if that's the case, a lot of people deal with the same crap and they ain't doing this. Like what? Like what? Like what? What? Huh?
That his client's problems, which we'll get to in like 2 seconds, grew worse after his ex-wife died from cancer. Now, despite all these problems, it doesn't excuse what he did. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, when I was first looking at this, it was only like 9 months of things going on. No, this has been happening for the last 2 years. Because back in August 2022, the FBI received a complaint about a Discord user named Rabid, who was getting minors to create CSAM content and encourage in SH. I'm using abbreviations because if I say the full thing, YouTube gets mad. But in August 2022, the FBI quickly identified Rabid as being Richard Densmore. But according to the complaint received by the FBI, a minor victim reported to investigators that she met Rabid on Discord in or around August 2022.
Okay.
The victim was 15 years old at the time and told Rabid that she was a minor. The victim knew that Rabid's first name was Richard. Thank goodness these creeps are really dumb and just give their whole ass name. But Rabid, Richard Densmore, told her that he created a Discord server or chat room called Sewer. Now, the purpose of this Sewer server was—
Oh, why would you call it sewer? You dirty old dude, called it sewer because you know how dirty it's gonna get.
To stream CSAM content and SH content. And the thing that Richard Densmore did is that he told the girl victim to solicit people to stream content on his Discord server, Sewer. And the girl victim streamed a video of herself on Sewer where she inserted an ice cube up there. So not only is this—
Oh, that's gotta feel uncomfortable. I don't have one, but I bet it feels weird to put an ice cube up there. And why would you tell her to engage in self-harm? Like, why would you want her to hurt herself? How's that pleasure? Unless you're a freaking sadist. Like, I don't know what he's into.
Guy getting victims, but he's getting his victims to find other victims to stream content on his disgusting Discord server. And that's what was found by the FBI. And in fact, the FBI executed a search warrant on Densmore's home last February, so February 2023, that far back. And during that search warrant, they found CSAM content. And for some reason, Densmore was a free man for another 11 months.
The hell he is.
There's a reason why I don't cover a lot of this stuff all the time, because when you read something like this, you just question reality. But fortunately, things actually do end up in a positive direction. Remember, he does end up in jail. That's how we got this photo of him. But then at the start of the year, the investigators executed a second search warrant on his home. And after finishing that search warrant, they found 2 cell phones hidden in an air vent in his bedroom. And you can only assume what's on those.
Yo, that's kind of smart. I'm not gonna lie. To put phones in the air vent, but you know they're gonna search everything, including the vents. Now they got to keep that in in mind the next time they search somebody. Dude try to play Among Us with his phones.
It resulted in an arrest. Things were going downhill, but he's finally been arrested. And then the week after he's arrested, on Monday, on his preliminary hearing, prosecutors, the people trying to put Richard Densmore behind bars, argued that he should be held in pretrial detention because he demonstrated violent proclivities. And what they mean by violent proclivities actually refers to what's above. When they went through those cell phones, they didn't fully analyze them, but they found images on one of the phones that included a girl with Rabid, his Discord username, written on her forehead. And I'm just gonna say it now, a 47-year-old getting a person to write their Discord username on their forehead is already an indicator on how mentally far gone this dude is. But then there's also images
You need to write PDF on his forehead. That's what they need to do.
of cutting, specifically an image where someone cut the letter R for Rabid or Richard into a young woman's chest. So at this point, it's pretty clear to see that this guy is definitely
What the heck is wrong with him? Why would he want her to? Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's just keep it going.
in the violent category. He has CSAM content on his phone. He has photos of people hurting themselves, and he also has guns, ammo, and other weapons in his house. Now, this might be a hot take, but I would probably put this guy in pre-trial detention so he doesn't, find any other victims. And it turns out common sense isn't common sense because Judge Kent denied the government's request for pre-trial detention on the grounds that there were no allegations that Densmore was a hands-on offender. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not know what the this guy was thinking. I think the judge is one of those people where he's
probably the same thing as this guy. He's just hiding as a judge, because the best way to not let people know that you're a PDF is to act like you're not a PDF. And since they act like they're not a PDF, you'll never know who it is out of the millions of people in this world. So it's like,
like, oh, you're being harassed online, just log off. As you'll see, that's not really an option when it comes to what these people are doing, because I'll dive deeper into the types of extortion that these guys do. In fact, instead of putting this dude in jail while they figure out all the trial stuff, instead the judge decided to release him on the same day on a $10,000 unsecured bond.
What?
He was just free to go and continue as he pleases, and he knew the end was coming. At some point, he was gonna go to jail, but hey, now he had one last opportunity to just keep going. Now, fortunately, there actually was some brain cells in this whole entire operation, because the next day, the Department of Justice filed an emergency motion and basically dropped new and disturbing details about Densmore. They dropped the whole entire lore behind this guy, which is actually what I read to you. Right now, everything seems doom and gloom, but things are on the up and up, baby. So on September 29th, defendant Richard sent a message to a minor whose name is anonymized to Jane Doe, asking for a request. Now, in the plea deal, they point out that prior to September 29th, when this event happened, Richard was informed that the lady that he's talking to is a minor under the age of 18. And what he asked,
and that's when you stop talking to her. I don't know why. He was like, "Ooh, since you're under 8, hey, let's try something. I mean, I got a cult. Like, like what? Like, huh?"
Doe to do, the minor, is to send him an image of her chest with his username Rabid written on them.
Why?
This is something stupid that I would expect from like a young adult who's never talked to a woman before. This is a 47-year-old man. And considering that the person who is supposed to write on their chest is
He got potential to get a woman. I don't know why he don't. I mean, yeah, you had an ex-wife, but that don't mean you go for a
minor, this predator is completely Oh, but it just gets worse, by the way, because Richard also sent Jane Doe, the minor, Discord Nitro in an effort to persuade her to send the requested image. For anyone that's young that's watching this,
I know what it is. I got the $9.99 for my, Discord that y'all should be joining, because it's cool over there. Just, hey.
Please do not take Discord Nitro as a bribe to do things that you know are going to be bad for you. But a day later, on September 30th, the minor actually made the right choice and expressed reservations about sending the requested image to Richard, the predator. But that's where things... And well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It do be past November 7th. And what has happened to Richard Densmore? Well, considering we're looking at this photo, there's a pretty good hint of what's going on.
He gone?
Now, here's the thing. The way that this showed up on my radar was actually when I was looking at the Department of Justice, looking at their press releases, and there's a
He only get 30 years? I thought he was getting like 25 to life or 30 years. I mean, he'd probably be gone by then, but he'd probably still be alive by then.
press release. And
if he'll last that long, you know what they do to people like that.
And this is where we get into the deep end of this whole entire situation, because the press release on November 7th is member of violent 764 terror network sentenced to 30 years in prison for exploiting a child. Richard Densmore is not just a predator. In fact, he was someone that hosted a group of internet predators. And now it's time to talk about the 764 terror network. Now, I'm not going to specifically talk...
They said he ain't just a predator. This dude is like a leader of a big group of people underground, like on the dark web. I would put it past him without was true, because that could be.
About 764, I just paint all these guys as pieces of garbage. Their name does not matter. The main thing is that this is an extortion group. They all operate the same, but back on September 12th, 2023, the FBI actually released a public service announcement talking about these sort of groups. And inside of this public service announcement, the FBI is warning the public of violent online groups deliberately targeting minor victims on publicly available messaging platforms, Discord, to extort them into recording or live streaming acts of SH and producing CSAM content. And what these groups do is they use threats, blackmail, and manipulation to control the victims into recording or live streaming SH, any explicit acts, and or the life stop button.
What?
You can't say that word on YouTube. And using that
Why would you want them to end themselves though? Like, that don't make sense. You talking to them, trying to get them like do sexual stuff to like make you like aroused. Why would you want them to end their life?
awful footage, it's then circulated amongst members to extort victims further and exert control over them. Now, the way that these groups work is actually quite simple. What these groups will do is that they'll target specific people between the ages of 8 to 17 years old.
8. That's so freaking low. I'm not saying it's better if it's higher, but shit. Like, what's next? 4? Like,
Especially LGBTQ plus youth, racial minorities, and those who struggle with a variety of mental health issues. When it comes to
they're targeting like the low demographic. They're targeting like the young, like the smaller groups. They're targeting like the people who are like very vulnerable.
Racial minorities and those who struggle with a variety of mental health issues. When it comes to Discord groups, what these people will do is they will try to find victims in mental health Discord servers or any femboy or LGBT servers.
Wow.
So if you're in any
That's
of
a lot
those
of members.
communities, just keep your eyes open. Don't trust anyone. But what these groups will also do, which is something that I'm aware of and it's not actually pointed out in this PSA, is that on Discord, sometimes these groups will make their own Discord servers to try and recruit people into their extortion community. Now, this doesn't apply to every single server, but any Discord server that's trying to be edgy or semi-toxic, or they show a whole bunch of gore, or there's no rule.
You forgot 4chan. You know, if it says 4chan, this close is probably saying Lively.
There's a non-zero chance that it's run by someone that's trying to get you into one of these communities. It is just the cycle of abuse. These people become the victims, then they become the people that create victims. But in the case of Richard Anthony Reyna Densmore,
Why was it called 764? It's like 764 people like him. I mean, what if that's the code? I don't know what that number means.
pretty clear he's far from being 18 unless he's like Benjamin Button or something. But going back to the press release by the US Department of Justice, Densmore, known as Rabid, became notorious in the extortion network by creating online sewer communities on Discord. And the most egregious thing of this all is that Densmore boosted membership in sewer by advertising live streams of children engaging in SH and explicit activity on cam. Now, it's implied here that these people are going on Discord voice calls, and the reason why they're doing that is because you can't really report a Discord voice call, which again explains why you should go to local law enforcement, because they will find a way to deal with this properly so that these people can be put behind bars, which is
No, you need to talk to Discord and have them make an update so they can do that. Y'all should have already been on that.
evident because I'm literally talking about it right now, and they're describing how this stuff happened on cam. But what this 47-year-old Discord predator said is he threatened victims to commit SH by telling them, "I have all your information. I own you. You do what I say now, kitten." A 47-year-old saying kitten to a child. Anyways, getting to the celebration part, Richard Densmore will spend the next 30 years in federal prison. I wish it was more, but considering he's almost 50 plus 30, yeah, dude's cooked. And again, can we rewind?
You can give a predator any amount of years. It don't matter because they might not last even a year. Like with how the dude's gonna treat them, they won't even last probably a week.
All the way back, all of this started after the FBI received a complaint in August 2022 from the minor victim. This one minor victim caused all of this to happen for this dude to go in jail, which is a massive f***ing accomplishment. Anyways, I think I've been through it all.
Yo, that's freaking crazy, man. I wasn't expecting the video to be like extremely detailed like that, so I know it probably wasn't as entertaining, so I was trying to like, you know, come in there when I could to make it a little more entertaining. But yo, that dude is crazy. Some people just don't deserve to have the internet at all in the first place, man. But in the comments, let me know how you feel about this situation, because I'm sure there's other situations out there, but it's got to be crazier. It's got to be crazy ones out there, but this one's obviously really, really bad. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Also join the Discord, aka the Heroes Association. Link in the description and also pinned in the comment section. And we're not gonna be doing stuff like that. I will say that we're not doing stuff like what this dude did. Keep it chill. I love y'all. Until next time, peace out.